live on Substack, and it's not like I just push the button, and live is exactly the same as not being live, except some people may tune in. And so we were just talking about stone dildos. This should get people to tune in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about the history of stone dildos because I recently put a story up on Substack where that's part of it. So if you haven't read it, um,
Read it. It's a good read. It's a very read for
so this is Writer's Daily Dive Live, and I'm actually proposing that people join something that Katerina has joined, which is the Writer's Daily Dive, which is an hour every weekday. We meet at 1:00 Eastern Standard Time on Zoom, and there's a group of us. There's about 20 members now, but everybody doesn't show up every day. So you can jump in and out. And the idea is that you show up and we work, usually with our cameras on, sometimes with them off. And hi, we have people joining. William Lucas just joined. Michelle Dowd. Okay. It's so nice to see these names that I see flying by me in notes. So here's some background on our relationship is that I think it was like 12 years ago. You
Yeah,
joined a writers group at the Amagansett Library that I was running.
that's right. That's right.
And that was way too much fun. We had a sadistic librarian who ran the library. And first, she gave away our room to the fishermen and then moved us upstairs. And then she finally threw us out because we just had too much fun. And it was too much of a success and she couldn't handle it. That's my side of the story.
It's always good to know which side you're on.
So, but that group has actually continued, and you were part of that, like in the little back cottage. And I was remembering how we would meet there in the winter and like be covered in like lap robes and like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I like that little cottage. That was a good spot there were some good writers. Are you
really
still
good writers.
doing it, right?
Well, we are still meeting on Zoom, but I'm kind of more
Yeah.
consumed by Substack, the Substackiverse. But okay, so the reason that particularly wanted to have you on is to do this, as we both just said, this striptease of your book. Da, da, da. Is it right side up or is it backwards?
And you got number 10. That was a good number.
Oh, that is a good number. That's my birthday in May. So this is Mole Mansions.
Mole.
And
Yeah. Mole.
mole. You don't say mole.
No, I don't because I there's kind of a little play on words. It is, mole because I love mole, but I love this idea of underground mansions.
Oh, I never got the mole.
Yeah, I mean, I never talked about that in the essay at the end. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
parts because I wanted that essay to be really short. Um, I didn't want it to be more than 2 pages long,
Yeah.
and never talked about the mole. Um, but
But it makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to do this unboxing, which is like, this
yeah,
is such a beautiful object to get in the mail. And then you open the top, then there's this little thing you pull. And then it is like a striptease
it
because
is
look at this. This is like the last thing where you're like, ta-da.
little slip,
Then
a
this
little bit.
beautiful book. I mean, everything is considered in this book. It's such a little jewel work of art. And
Oh yeah, and
I
I think
didn't realize until I reread the part at the end um, that this is a play, Incidents of Travel. It's sort of loosely based on another book from the 1800s where somebody was in this area, or no?
well, yeah, I mean it's not based on the book, but some more the travel. The incidents of travel was this archaeologist in the late 1800s who was one of the first people to go down to Chiapas and start unearthing. I don't think he unearthed Palenque, but he might have unearthed Bonampak and some of these other sites. And so that book came around. It was like Incidents of Travel, and I kinda see it as a yeah, that's Palenque there. That's the house of the, foliated cross, the temple of the foliated cross. Yeah, which is a
Oh, look, somebody that we both know just joined, Elena Lesser-Brun, who used to be in our group. I don't know if you guys were
really
in it. Yeah. Hi,
maybe we
Elena.
I don't know if we were in it the same time. Yeah,
She is an author and a therapist.
yeah.
So talk to me a little bit. Like I was reading and I realized that this had something to do with your mother's death, but it was quite a while after she died that you went and sort of explored this.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, and it took me decades to actually publish this book. You know, I had it floating around in little drawers and, I had the book together, and in fact, one thing, I had made a little handmade maquette, uh,
A
when
little
I
handmade maquette?
yeah, yeah, I had made it, and I'd actually shown it to, Richard Vine who was at Art in America, and he did champion me for a bit there, um based on the book and then these other works that I was doing, these light pieces that I was doing at the time. And so then the book, sat in, I had all the drawings and the photographs and they were all in a little box and I kept moving and moving as we do.
Oh my
Um,
God.
we do, right? How many times? So, um, anyway, finally I decided that this has got to be published. And also it was also an occasion because I wanted to start doing an edition series with Pete and Repeat. And so I thought, well, let's do this book. Let's do this
Now,
one.
Pete and Repeat is your collective, which includes
Right,
visual artists, performance artists, filmmakers, and writers. And
right,
that's on Substack. Pete, P-E-A-T, and Repeat. But
right.
also you, Caterina Verde, are also on Substack.
I
And yeah,
haven't yet fluffed out my Substack, so it'll be coming, but I'm
it's always coming because every day things change over here, over there.
yeah,
Um, Yeah, I'm in quite a lull right now because AI is kicking my ass. Just the demoralization of the whole thing is kicking my ass. But speaking of ass kicking, so from the time you made the maquette to 20, because I pre-ordered the book, which was a couple years before, and then in 2025 it came out. And
yeah, and
so
it
how
took
many
2 years. So I had made it like I had actually the book was almost all complete 20 years ago.
20 years ago?
Yeah. So I when you pre-ordered it, I thought, "Oh, I'm gonna be able to do this quite quickly," right? And then I started really starting to go, "Well, I've gotta write an essay, and then I've got to put the images in, and then I do
So beautiful.
add more images in, and do I want to, what how can I improve this?" And then just it was at the printers for 6 months. Yeah. So, just at the printers because we were looking at the paper and then changing the paper and changing and the printers were amazing, like, if I said, "Oh, this needs a little bit more red," they tweaked it, and they tweaked it perfectly.
I
I mean,
mean, it is so considered, every
yeah,
page and where you go with the colors. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing, a beautiful object. And so it's a collection of like everything you do. I don't think your light pieces are in there, but your writing, the text is like poetry.
yeah,
There are your drawings, there are paintings, I'm sure there are film stills, there are photographs,
yep,
but but right when after you did the pre-order, you got sick. And I think, is that
Yeah,
right? Is that when it happened?
I got breast cancer again for the second time, but
I didn't know.
that was just
Hi,
this.
Jennifer.
Yeah, I had breast cancer 20 years ago.
I didn't know.
Yeah, yeah, I had breast cancer 20 years ago, and then I found out I had it again this year. So that also took a big hit on even just promoting the book. It slowed everything down, and I'm still like trying to catch up.
Yeah.
Because no, you know how it is. It's everything is a lot, right?
That is it. Everything is a lot. And you
Yeah.
and I have been bumming around the Hamptons because you were working for, what's his name?
Well, first I moved out there and I was actually I had a freelance job that I was doing for Yale for quite a while. And then
Okay.
everything bottomed out. So I kind of moved out there because my daughter got into school and my friend a couple friends of mine lived out there. But I was always a freelancer. And
Right.
then I was editing films videos for Ross School at one point. And
Ah, so you know Marie.
I do know Marie. Yeah.
We know the strangest people in common. You know my friend Matthew from the kitchen. We know Marie. I know her pretty
Yeah.
well.
And so I worked, I did a lot there. And then I was making films for like for hire. And then everything bottomed out. There was no work out there. There was nothing.
Yeah.
So I
It's
ended up,
so hard for other people to understand that the way that the rents are here, if you were to say, "Go and just, okay, I've gotta get a job at the grocery store or the
yeah,
library or whatever," there's no way you could make enough money to support
yeah,
yourself here. So
yeah,
everybody's got these gigs, everybody's doing
yeah.
something.
Yeah, you're doing all these different things, and then if you're making a certain amount of money, then, you're trying to keep all the balls in the air, and I had a child that I was trying to raise as well. But so anyway, somebody said
Plus, the moving, the constant, because
exactly.
every 9 months, everybody wants to rent their house for the summer. So
Yeah,
you and I both went through this, okay, 9 months, we rent a room in somebody's house, then we gotta go. Then you gotta
yeah, and then your stuff goes into storage, all of that sort of thing, and, then I ended up working so I was ready to move back to New York City, where I hadn't lived for quite a while, and, but my daughter really wanted to stay out there, and somebody said to me, "Oh, Keith Saunier is looking for somebody to run his studio in Bridgehampton. He wants to start a studio there." So I had always vowed I would never work for another artist because I thought, that's
Oh,
like, yeah, I always thought that's not a good idea. I still think it's not a good idea. Um, but it did, I did a bunch of I mean, it was, it was good. It was good in a lot of ways, and it helped me. I got my daughter through school, and I got her through college. So in that regard, yeah, I had to. So anyway, but yeah, so I ran a studio for quite a few years. But the problem with, what happened is when you work for another artist, if they're not, some artists are quite generous, and I'm not saying he wasn't generous. I'm just saying some are more generous than others in terms of helping people that work with them. And
right.
when I started working with him, gone to Documenta. I had lots of shows going on. I had stuff happening, and little by little, everything fell away because
Ah,
suddenly everybody associates you with working for this very famous artist, and that's it. They're you know it becomes like a you're boxed in all of a sudden. You're boxed in, and
I
everybody,
get it.
and I just
Plus,
could.
you have no time to focus on anything else. The thing about this is that it's a miracle that we complete projects, is what I'm thinking. It's a
it,
miracle.
it
And
is
people who don't uh, s create things don't understand, like, this is, like, a big deal for us to like from something from the beginning to the end, and the physical presence in the world is, oh,
And you're doing it all on your own because you don't have, I don't have any assistants. I don't have people help, running around for me. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind that, that would be wonderful. I could, but it's true. Well, the other thing is you got to figure out what they're going to do, then that takes time and energy too. So there's no perfect solution, right?
right.
'Cause you see, like, artists who really do have a crew of assistants, and then it's like a whole other thing you gotta uphold, right? You
Mhm.
gotta keep everybody working and all of that, so but
Right.
anyway yeah, it is a real miracle to get stuff done, and I have, like, a film I've been working on also now for, like, 5 years, and I'm hoping in the next couple years I could actually bring it to fruition, so
Is that, that you were showing some pieces of that when you were doing exhibits? Did I see some of that when you were doing things that you had a show out in Jersey and
No,
upstate?
I had a show I got during the pandemic, I got one of those, city arts grants. They gave out a city arts grant, it's called through NYFA. It was a $5,000 grant, which was fantastic,
Wow.
uh, and I produced a three-channel installation, which I produced in my place in New York, and,
What was
uh,
that called?
that's called Remote Viewing and Recreational Vehicle. And
Right.
so that's the piece I'm still working on, and maybe the name will eventually get changed, I don't know,
I like it.
but I shot a bunch of stuff last summer in Newburgh, New York, with actual narrative and, kind of dialogue and everything, which was new for me.
Well,
Uh
because you're also just in this movie, which I still haven't seen,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
an actress. You're like, "Hey, oh, gotta go." Who's that? Elena. Yeah. Bye, Elena.
Really.
Um, you do everything. Like, where are you right now? Tell us where you are in the world
Okay,
right now.
so I'm in France. I'm in Montmorillon, which is a town in the Vienne, so it's sort of like it's sort of the central part of France. Like, if you just go directly east, you'll end up in the Atlantic. But central part, and then further south is Auvergne. Anyway, so I'm here having a show, which was also a show I was supposed to have 2 years ago, so you see all these time frame things, and I had to cancel it, and so luckily I was able to do it this year, and so it's basically, an exhibition in a suitcase because I brought all the work in a suitcase and unpacked and, and which is kind of cool, who was it?
Yeah, it is.
Keith Donovan was telling me that there's a who was it that did the exhibition in a hat? I think it
Oh,
was
I don't
Marguerite
know.
Marguerite who did exhibition in a hat, or Duchamp. I think Duchamp maybe did exhibition in a suitcase. But anyway, the idea is I just came with suitcases and voila.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Hey, show your what are
Oh,
your
both have
teeth?
okay.
Okay, we both have knitting, alright, and we both have a space.
Yeah, yours is a little bigger than mine.
Mine is a little bigger than yours. It's okay.
Yours are a little wider than mine, but
Okay,
mine's probably
I'm
wide.
gonna read I'm gonna read I wanna know what this is about. There were 4 entrances, 3 paths, 2 reminders, and 1 opening.
Well, if you look throughout the book, you'll find the 4 entrances. 3 paths, 2 reminders, 1 opening. The reminders might be a little bit more enigmatic to find, but you can see through the images. Um, yeah, you can it is basically, like a walk through I mean, I kind of think that all my work is like, we're walking through life, we're moving through, and everything is, the walkthrough. We're always, trying to get somewhere. We think we're trying to get somewhere, but like, I was talking to I sent you that little article, about
Yes.
the show, and the show is called Des Actes Maladroits, which translates to awkward gestures. I mean, there's not really a good word in English for maladroit.
Hmm.
I mean, you speak French, right?
Not really, but
Oh, you
enough to, like, understand a
mother
tiny bit.
your mother lives in France. So it's like, you know, sort of misdirected in a way, misdirected gestures. And I kind of see that as we stumble away through life as humans thinking that we're very logical and that we're being practical, or people are telling you to be more practical. And I realize, people used to always tell me, be more practical. And then finally I think, fuck it. I don't need to be more practical. I mean, what does it get you? Because a lot of times people spend their lives being practical and then something cataclysmic happens,
I
catastrophic,
know,
and they're so surprised. Like they don't
I
expect
know.
that the impossible can happen, but it can happen we
Yeah,
know happen at any moment, right?
any
Like
moment.
yeah, it's always there.
Miracles and disasters, and the
Right.
thing about, um, bringing something from start to finish is, like you said, it's like this gesture in the world, "I'm gonna make a book," and then you see how incredibly crazy that is, like,
Yeah.
how much that you didn't know was gonna happen to you along the way, from it, and so, yeah, so you're reacting and then making a new gesture. And I was trying to talk to my friend the other day, Walter, who you know probably, about our design, what we think we should be doing with our time. And he's
Yeah.
very self directed. And I said, but isn't it possible that we don't know if it's only us who's deciding what's best for us, it could be completely wrong, and that it's only those moments when we are thrown into a situation where it's not us deciding. I mean, it really isn't ever us deciding, but we think we're deciding, which is so foolish. And so I was just trying to get him to mix it up a bit and maybe do a barbecue on the beach with me. That's how this whole discussion started.
Oh yeah.
And he started saying, well, I like to choose how I spend my time and with who I spend my time. And I was just saying, maybe no all the time. If it's always my will, what am I going to get? I'm just going to get like an AI compounded, self-referential thing.
Yeah, a loop. You're gonna get a loop.
I'm going to get a loop. Yeah.
And what is our will, Because I always think that's a really good question. What is free will? You know, People think they're acting freely, but we don't know, like, it's like the things that happen to you that you think are possibly catastrophic. I really think, this is kind of very interesting idea of things happen for you, not to you necessarily. Like maybe something that happens, maybe it's like shifting you in another direction, pushing you on, you
I
know?
think of that every time I get a bug in
Yeah,
a glass with a plate behind it and put
yeah,
it outside. Like, how many times in my life has something, and I thought, "Oh my god, I'm gonna die," but it's really just something put me in a glass and threw me out the door. I have no idea.
yeah. And I think the more we focus as artists, the more we just keep focusing in on our work and not being rigid about it. I don't think you have to be rigid. Some people are like, they're like they're working in a bank or something. You know what I mean? No, and I like,
But on the other hand, to
yeah,
dedicate that some discipline, I
yeah,
have found, I'm not really working on the book every day because there are days when I can't bear to look at it, but I'm
yeah,
always at least have that hour at Writer's Daily Dive where I'm meeting other writers, and at least there's this dedicated time to like stop the craziness of everything, because
right.
everything will become more important than the book or
That
the film.
right, because always, sometimes, um, I think when you are wanting to, you know, make other people happy, for example, and they ask you for something, and you put that ahead of what your own thing is and sometimes that works, but sometimes it doesn't. And if you do that too much, and I think for a lot of women, especially, maybe not, maybe I'm just being gender specific, but I think there's a lot and certainly in my life, that has always been a little bit of an issue, is when somebody asks me to do something, I'll do it before I do my own thing, just to
Well,
like
there's something so unbearable to me about disappointing somebody.
I
It's
know,
like, it's like a
I
monster. Like, you can't disappoint them when all around me, people are disappointing me every day.
I know, yeah, I know, but okay, well, we're just all learning, hopefully to the day we die, we're learning, you know? Did you ever read that book by Robertson Davies, The Rebel Angels?
No,
Did you ever read any of his work?
I didn't actually.
So it's I mean, just I'll tell you, like, the first page of the book
Ah, there's
is
Sandelord.
it
She's, in France as well.
oh, okay.
She's
The
a good person to follow on here if you
oh
she does a great fiction,
oh
collective called Some Flux.
oh, well, maybe I wonder if she's near here. Sandalo.
She is near my mother. She is near
Yeah,
Angoulême. Ha,
okay. Is that in the, like, Charente, the area?
it is.
Not that far from here. I
Really?
wonder yeah, I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm not sure how far Angoulême is from here, but,
She says, "Where are you? Montmorillon?"
Montmorillon, it's in the Vienne. It's in the Vienne, Charente, yes. Okay.
And my
That's
mom's gonna watch this and be thrilled that we're talking about the Charente.
I know I saw some Pinot de Charente in the store the other day, which is the famous alcohol from Charente.
Ah, it's gotta be made from nuts then. They have a big, like, nut
Oh,
thing, nut
oh,
craze.
okay, I didn't know that it was made from nuts.
I think so.
Alright, well,
Um, well, so let's talk a little bit more about, the arc of making things and whether having this Substack, I feel like it is helping me to have this place. It's not a website, but it is a place to put things and to, how should I say it? Like an archive, and I'm like, oh, here's my fiction. Like, and especially for an artist like you who does like 5 different things,
yeah,
it must be exciting. And I'll give you a little hint. When you
I
go to your
do.
dashboard, there are sections. You can create sections just for you and toggle off that they show to the rest of Substack. So I have sections where I'm putting things and I'm not ready to make them public yet or have them show up at the top of my page. But you can create as many as you want to organize yourself.
That is a good hint. I really need that hint because, what I've been doing with Pete and Repeat, which is, I send out the
Yeah.
mail.
Talk more about Pete and Repeat because people can follow it on here. It'd be good for
Okay,
people to
because
know.
Pete Repeat, I started with another artist during the pandemic, which was a way to create a platform of, works and writings and particularly works that artists could sell so that would create an income stream. And but we pretty much need like a salesperson to help us, but
We all
that's
do.
we all do, we all do. So, but in the meantime, I've produced shows, I've curated shows, and then we a lot of different people write things. And what I do with Pete and Repeat is when I do a newsletter, I can just take that newsletter and put it onto Substack. So I don't have to do extra work. But it's quite nice because it comes up and people can see what's happening, and if they wanna get back to Pete and Repeat, they can go there. But for myself, I haven't developed the what is it? The reflex yet for Substack, for my personal stuff. So, not just personal because I've got stuff on, I've got writings and I've got also some writing that's coming out and on Woodbine, which is a
That's the magazine, right?
yeah, it's called The Journal, it's called The Reservoir, and it's published by it's Woodbine and Otto No Media. And yeah,
My
so
friend's book is published on Autonomedia too.
oh,
The
really?
Hill? Yeah, I think I sent you some stuff about that. The Hill where they put they were
I'm gonna
up Gabrielle Schaefer. I'm gonna have her on too as well.
okay, I'm gonna go look that up. Okay. Um,
They're
yeah, but
actually looking for a filmmaker to collaborate with, so, you
The
know.
Hill,
Yeah,
who is
they lived on the hill, at a homeless encampment, for a few years, and we did a piece of theater there. It was right at the foot of, Manhattan Bridge. It was right at Christie and Canal.
oh, yeah, okay, Christian Canal. Yeah, okay. I see exactly where that is.
They made took them a few years, but they made a suitipi out of, federal US mailbags. They
That's Gabrielle Schaefer?
What's that?
Is that Gabrielle Schaefer?
Yes. She
That
and her
sounds
husband, Nick, yeah.
that sounds amazing. I love
It
that.
is amazing, and the Fales Library at NYU has taken all of the journals and the writing, but they're still looking for a place somebody to take the teepee. It's made from real trees, mailbags, and then on the inside, she painted the major arcana, cards, everybody who lived up there, their
Oh,
faces all
God,
yeah, yeah,
that's in
look that up. I'm giving her a big I wanna have her on this as well, so
yeah,
be
and what
interesting.
about Whitney? What about the Whitney should take it on?
They're looking for people, like,
Uh,
so.
I mean, try to place it with a museum or something.
But I didn't mean to go on that tangent, and we gotta go soon, but, is
Okay.
Pete
Yeah,
so Pete and Repeat is on Substack, and
yeah,
that's a collective, and then you're on Substack, Caterina Verdi, and Writer's Daily Dive is on Substack,
right.
under my name, Kara Westerman, and the film that you were just in, was that part of the Pete and Repeat collective as well?
Well, not really. I mean, one of the people on there is one of the producers on that film, but it's a feature film by Eric McGinty, and so it's now. I think I've got it. It is live stream. It's streaming. It's
Okay.
streaming. I think on Apple TV.
Oh, okay, so what's the name?
It's called Stockade.
Stockade.
Yeah,
Great. I
yeah, and
mean,
a friend.
you have so many projects is what I
Yeah,
love about you. You haven't decided that you have to choose one.
it's all part of the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Mm, we're in life.
Yeah.
We're
We're smack in the middle.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I went
So,
running to Nick one day and I said, "Do you realize that we're like smack in the middle of our lives?" And he was like, "You're right."
uh,
Uh, it's
all right.
messy,
It
but
is. It is
but I
messy.
love that you wanted to come on here and be messy with me. And
Yeah.
I'm in a little room at the East Hampton Library where there is proper light and proper books in the
Well done.
background.
Well done. I love it. And everything is card cataloged, I see.
Oh, yeah. Where am I? Oh, I'm in the garden
They
section, actually.
they do in libraries.
So say one more time what the
Oh,
new writing that's coming out is. It's what the publication is. It's called Woodbine.
it's called The Reservoir,
Okay.
and I don't know when it's coming out exactly, sometime in the fall, The Reservoir.
Okay,
Um,
great.
that's just my writing. There's a lot of other people writing, in that, but
And I'm sure it'll be on Substack.
it yeah, I'm sure it will be on Substack. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta go to the Writer's Daily Dive, and
Yeah, go
anybody
to the
who wants to go
yeah,
there, go to my page, and there's a separate tab at the top, and I gotta go meet them on Zoom.
uh,
Otherwise, what would they do? They
i
wouldn't be able to write.
yeah, and I'll be back there soon. I'm coming
Okay,
in.
great.
Alright.
Okay, it's great to see you looking so
Great.
great.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Alright, talk
Bye.
bye.